I'm not going to pick myself off. I'm going to calm down. Okay, so one thing I didn't off of that was yesterday, and so I'm just going to put I don't actually know if I can see either of those. So yesterday, I just had it on me pretty much the whole time. So I'm going to put it like right there, and I'll sit over here. Thank you so much for meeting with me. Yeah. I'm timing myself because I told you yesterday that I would not go over 20 minutes, and I can't. And so, put my timer. All right.
Yeah, I have the meeting at 6 in Fells Point, so I have to be out here 5:30 at the latest.
No, you will be out of here by 5:17.
Wonderful.
Okay, here we go. All right, Christy.
Yay.
So how was today? I know it was our first time and all that jazz. How was today for you?
It was like really interesting.
Wait, what does that mean?
Right. So first of all, yeah, sometimes I had trouble hearing you. So like if I was doing like the wrong thing, I had trouble hearing.
Okay.
So that was a little bit part of it.
Okay.
Just technically. And then
were those problems persistent from the beginning to the end, or was
at one point I turned it up and it helped, but it was still a little bit hard.
Alrighty,
to hear.
I'll check that out. Awesome. Okay.
Maybe I'm deaf.
No, you're not. Stop it. Stop it. Okay.
No, but it was like really good. I'm not very good at like remembering to do all the things at once or whatever.
Okay.
So it was really helpful to have you to like remind me what I should be doing. So, and I did notice a difference, like when you were telling me to be following exactly what, the whole pattern of things that we're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice a difference because usually I lose them even more during instruction. Like they'll just sort of like stop paying attention at some point, and then we'll have to like have a big talk and like come back together and so I felt like they were more present today than they usually are. Maybe that's like there was someone in the room too. Sometimes it happens, but I do feel like it felt like things were like going better. But that said, I like as soon as you left, I immediately realized like the one thing that I wasn't doing enough was like I wasn't going around and giving them stamps during the lesson, and then like Terrell, as soon as Terrell got his whole jam back together, like 2 seconds later I should have moved him up because on the clip chart, because if he doesn't see like any sort of immediate reaction to his actions, like
he needs instant gratification.
Yeah. So, and then he didn't do well for the rest of the day, and I think that's maybe a little bit because of it, because he never got like any sort of positive reinforcement for the thing that he was doing. I mean, he's a problem just in general.
Man, problem is in terms of just chatting and stuff, or being off task?
Being both. He's the one who has, he's emotionally disturbed.
Okay. Alrighty. So was the rest of the class like that as well, or was it just Terrell after I left?
No, it was just Terrell. Okay. Everything else, I mean, we actually had a good rest of the day.
Awesome. Okay. And so you said that you were having some problems hearing my cues. Even before that, though, because I was thinking, remember we were talking yesterday, and I was like, well, you're going to hear cues around blank. And the one thing I noticed...
Please pardon this interruption. Thank you, staff, for staying for parent-teacher conferences. This concludes this evening. Please have a wonderful evening and safe travels home. Thank you.
God, that scared me. Okay, here we go. We're back.
Yep.
But like, what do you feel, and thinking about the session, like, what do you feel like you did well, and what do you feel like, what did you notice was a little off, or wish you would have done differently?
So I feel like after thinking about it last night, like I was more mindful at least of like the types of directions that I need to be doing, because like as soon as we talked about that should thing yesterday, like I heard myself say should like the second you walked in, and I was like, oh no, no should, and like I may have done it a few more times, but every time I did do it, I thought, no, don't do that. So at least like I'm recognizing it, and like it's feeling like I'm understanding what I should be doing a little bit more. I don't know if but I'm not actually always doing all the things. So at least like I feel like
starting somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like I understand it a little more, and having you tell me when I should be doing these things, like Because even when I'm up there and I'm writing things down, I'm not. I mean, hi, how are you?
Hi, I miss you.
I know, I miss you guys too. I was thinking about that today. Yeah. I was like, you're gonna be coming in, and LaShawn's gonna be coming. I saw LaShawn, but God, I miss having her in class too. I mean, I still see her, but I miss her.
I know.
Yeah.
She missed you too. She had a fit.
Yeah. It was a sad day for some of us when we split up the classrooms. There were tears. So.
I know it was. I saw something.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You take care. Yeah.
All right. You can pop by anytime. Still, I'm always around.
Okay, I'm sorry. So wait, what were you saying? You felt like you did well today? Someone was recognizing like some of your language.
Just
That's
like
huge.
being more cognizant of it. That's the word.
It is. You're good.
Yeah. And then I feel like the whole warning and then consequence thing, I feel like I got a better feel for that today. Because honestly, I usually just give the consequence. Like, if it's like, you're messing around, your clip is going down. But I feel like a lot of people responded more to the warning than usual. Because like a lot of times when I just move the clip, especially people like Terrell, they'll just shut down and then it's over.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm still like sort of struggling to deal with certain things. Like, you know, like if I do move them down, some of them still do get really upset. And like at the end of the day, when I moved Lamia down for talking to Shakayla.
This is the one right here?
Yeah. So Lamia says she wasn't talking, and it was Shakayla talking, not her. And Lamia like shut down for a while.
I remember that as I was walking out. Okay.
Yeah, and like that's something. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe she wasn't talking to her, and then I don't know what to do. And then like she gets, I don't know what to do when she does something like that, which just completely shuts down, and I don't know how to fix it. And
Okay.
so.
Well, we can definitely talk about that. Well, a couple of things I didn't hear you say that I thought you did really well. Well, one of them actually you kind of touched on. You narrate often. Right. I don't know if maybe you already knew that you'd do that, and maybe we discussed that yesterday, but even today I was thinking you were narrating, and I saw you making the connections to like MVP, and so you're like narrating for actions, and then I peeped you when you broke it up, you broke up the narration. I was like, oh, okay, Christy. So like your narration was on it.
Yeah.
And even like practicing the narration with your MVP directions, and so that was bomb. And then when you were saying about the warnings, like I noticed that you were giving warnings too. So it wasn't necessarily public.
Right.
And I know that was one thing yesterday that you were kind of hesitant about. You're like, but wait, do I say that out loud, or do I go up to the student? And so your warnings, I counted 5 times you gave different people warnings, and so that's huge before you actually walked over and then moved clips.
Right.
So kudos to you, because that was something that you said that you felt you were inconsistent with, because you go straight to the consequence, but today you actually went through and gave warnings and then you gave a consequence. So that was bomb. And then I noticed you were saying that you feel like you didn't hear some of my cues. And so that would make sense, because there were a couple of times I was like, wait, okay, I think she missed that. And so when I'm thinking about MVP directions, how do you think your directions went today? Well, how was the homework for you? Did you feel like, were you able to do it?
Right. So yeah, I did it, and I sort of like had it all in my brain. But then
did you write it down?
No, that's maybe part of it.
Okay.
But
I love how you looked down.
I did like think through every thing.
Okay.
Like I looked at my lesson plan, and I was like, okay, at this point I'll say this, and
okay,
whatever. Maybe I should have wrote it down.
No, it's okay. I got a quick fixer that's really quick that'll help you have your directions written down. But I gave you the cues for MVP directions. So I gave you 8 cues for MVP directions, and then 6 of them were either missed or you only did a part. Any idea of which part you definitely had down packed, or what part you may have forgotten about?
Maybe the noise level I always...
The voice. Yes, the voice. So I was like, okay. So you gave the MVP direction, and then I was like, oh, she missed that. But you didn't miss the whole thing. You only so it got to the point where I was cueing you.
Hey, Devin.
Hey, sweetie pie. Oh, come on in.
Hi. Good. How are you? Oh, sure. Sure. Hi. How are you, Devin? Did you talk to Miss Neal?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I'm sad not to have Devin in class anymore. But I'm sure he's doing even better. Yes, math is hard in fourth grade. It's tough math, but hopefully now that we're in some classes, we have just a little less distraction to really concentrate. And Devin is a really good kid, and I think he'll do much better without a bunch of people around him all the time. Yeah, I think so too. Yes, and I think that was the only thing that really was in his way before. He's a smart kid. It's just there's a lot of distractions. I mean, I bet you see that in the progress. Yeah, it's not. Right, he can definitely do better than that. There's a lot of distractions going on. So, no, when I heard Devin, he was great. I mean, sure, yeah. He, like I said, the only problems I ever had was him not paying attention or him talking to people around. He doesn't have any big behavior problems. It's not like he ever had the same attention as me. It's just, he's very easily distracted from talking. And a lot of times in math, he's not paying attention. So he can concentrate on getting himself together and not talking to his neighbor, which is going to be easy. Otherwise, he's a great kid. He never gave me problems. It was just but he gets home. Yeah. And he's a great kid, and he's funny. I'm sad about that class, but he'll do much better with this class. He's one of those kids who their progress report probably isn't great, but I bet they'll get a lot better by the time it gets to the grade report. Okay. Thanks so much. Nice meeting you too. Stop by anytime if you want to talk about Devin. I know he's not in my class anymore, but yeah. Okay, thanks. Have a good night. I know.
I know he's not in my class anymore, but stop by anytime. I love how he popped his head and he was like, oh wait, there's too many people. I can't.
Yeah. I know. I missed some of them that went to the other class.
Yeah, not Mary, your principal, our principal Brown was telling me. She was like, yeah. She said, I had one little girl move a desk, literally. And I was like, what? She was like, she was upset. And his brother was like, they were giving Miss Tucson problems and da-da-da-da-da, but now they want to be back in the class because they miss her so much.
Yeah, the girl that moved her desk was like, she's a problem every single day. Like, running up and down the hall.
And the most upset about being taken out of the class. That might be a good thing, though. That might be a good thing because it lets you know that, okay, I got through somebody. Like, she loved me even though she made me feel like, anyway. Oh, kids. Oh, God, where were we, Christy? Where were we?
MVP. I did the voice, but not the other stuff.
No, you didn't do the voice, but you definitely did the participation.
Yeah.
And so the other thing that I realized is that when I said MVP direction, these were the two that you went straight to. Eyes up front, right? And then notes in writing.
Right.
So when I was thinking about like bodies and being about other things like that, like I don't think that they were clear. And then when you were, when I'm thinking about voice, like not talking while other students are talking and making that an expectation or a part of the directions, like they didn't have that. And so a couple of times when you went to give consequences, like I couldn't really hear you, but in my mind I was like, ooh, I don't know if she can give a consequence for that or a warning for that because I don't think that was in the directions. And so I didn't cue you for any of those. And so I was like, we can talk about that. Yeah. And so you were saying that you were like, I thought through it. I may have not written it down. And so this was a quick fix. So when I was with Amanda, she suggested this. It's an easy way to do MVP directions.
Awesome.
Essentially, they say, and this is research when I say that, you should have at least 10 to 12 directions or sets of instructions for students that are non-academic. So that would be the start of do now, the end of the do now, attention grabber, and what they should do afterwards. So that's 4 already. That scared me, actually. I don't know why. And so in thinking about that and the fact that maybe yesterday the homework was a little difficult because you didn't actually write it down, this will really help. And so this is what she taught me. Student's name and then is. And so your second sticky would be this one.
Oh, yeah.
So for example, if this is my set of directions.
Yeah.
When I say go, in your seat, silently complete the do now independently.
Silent.
Go.
Oh, that makes it so much easier when you look at it like that.
What? Does it?
Yeah, it's like all one sentence. In my mind, it was like, say the movement.
A sentence for that.
You should be silent.
Sentence for this.
You should complete your work now. You do not know. Okay.
Right. So I'm thinking about your math block. Okay, we got 5 minutes. I'm thinking about your math block. What would be a set of directions that you could put in MVP for your math block?
Do you want me to write it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Write that down.
So when I say go, which I also didn't say.
It's okay.
In your seat.
It doesn't always have to be silently. It depends on what you want the...
We say level 2 when we want them to work quietly. So
okay. So you can, yep.
See, level 2. Complete this problem with your group. Okay. Does that work?
So what do you need after that?
Go. Oh, shit.
Yes.
When I say go.
Okay, so say those out once for me. Your directions.
When I say go, in your seat, level 2, complete this problem with your group. Go.
Boom.
Go.
So then, let me check this out. What makes it even better, you can literally narrate warning and consequence straight from MVP direction.
Wonderful.
So if you needed to hit up Terrell,
Right.
Terrell's in his seat with a level 2 voice.
Right.
Or, I don't know, what was this little girl's name who was sitting right here?
Lamia.
Oh my gosh. Lamia is quietly working on her problem in her group, like however you want it to do until they tie directly into, okay. Woo. So we have 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So we are going to practice this. You already have your set of directions. Mm-hmm. And literally, you can sit there, you can sit up, whatever floats your boat. But you're going to tell me your directions, and then I want you to go through the no-nonsense nurturer model.
Okay.
Do you remember the cycle?
It's directions, explicit directions.
Yes, proceed.
Narrate.
Boom.
Warning. What do we call warning?
So it is the consequence. And so that consequence would be a warning and then going.
Okay, so consequence includes warning and consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
I forgot about that. The prison order.
Yeah.
The last one was like the rebuilding relationships.
Oh, yeah, rebuilding.
Moment, right?
Rebuilding.
Okay. So state your directions.
Okay. When I say go, in your seat, level 2, complete this problem with your group. Go. Danielle is Danielle is in her seat, level 2. Marquise is in his seat, level 2. Ryan is completing his problem with his group. Darian is level 2 in his seat.
I'm the student off task.
Danielle, your instructions are to be level 2, completing your work with your group. If you're not completing your work, this is your warning. I'll come back. If I have to come back again, I'm moving your clip down.
That was a lot, but that was great. So number 1, you went through all the MVP directions. You gave clear instructions, and then you said go. Then you narrated. You narrated for like 4 students, but you didn't clump your narration. You spread your narration out, so a bunch of us are feeling the love. I was feeling myself. Then, so question, did you notice that you automatically, when it was time to do the consequence, you said, so Danielle? The expectation. And the thing was, like, that's the language that you were using, the expectations for you to be working level 2 with your group on this problem. So you already did that. Any idea why you brought your voice down?
I don't know. So no one else would hear you getting in trouble.
And so why do you feel like you automatically bring your voice down so students can't hear you?
So like they won't get as embarrassed and as frustrated, I guess, or...
But if you've already narrated for students, then there shouldn't be that embarrassment, especially if you gave very clear instructions.
Okay.
And you narrated, and so they had multiple, at that moment, I had like 3 or 4 different opportunities to get myself on task working with my group. So at that point, there is no embarrassment because, number 1, you're not using sarcasm or anything like that because you're narrating straight from your directions. Okay. So let's try one more time.
Okay, so instead I should go over and just say it. And I don't have to lower my voice.
You don't have to do this.
I don't have to whisper. Okay.
All right. Good.
Okay. All right. When I say go, in your seat, level 2, complete this problem with your group. Go. Danielle's in her seat on level 2. Ryan's in his seat on level 2. Marquise is completing his problem with his group. Darian's completing his problem with his group. Danielle, your instructions were that you're working level 2 with your group in your seat. You're not completing your group in your seat. This is your warning. If I have to come back, we're moving your clip down.
So let's say I got right back on task. What do you do then?
Danielle, I knew you could get it together. Great job.
So immediately, as soon as you see me getting on task, that's when you would say that right out loud. Or that's when you would narrate me. Oh, Danielle's on level 2 working on her problem. Okay. So tonight, because it's our time's up. So tonight, when you have I want you to go through it doesn't matter what I want. Go through your directions, or each part of your lesson for math maybe.
Okay.
And then write out your MVP instructions or directions and just bring those with you. I'm going to see you next week. I will text you or email you tonight to get together next week for a 20-minute session. Okay. What's homework?
Cool. Homework is go through my lesson plan, put in directions like this as Post-its.
And you can use your Post-it. That's the one thing I noticed on that second time. Like, you actually utilized your Post-it. And I was like, that's what the Post-its are.
It helps so much to like see it like that.
Yeah, so please utilize it. Like, utilize your Post-its. And then when I'm thinking about like today's session, Christy, and then I'm thinking about like your homework and everything that we discussed, how do you think that this will assist not only you, but you and students in class? Let's say when you use this tomorrow. What do you think the difference might be?
I think it's going to be more people working on task, knowing what they're supposed to be doing exactly. And I feel like it decreases, or like just maybe the word I'm looking for is build trust. Because I feel like when you give consequences this way, like they know because they had the instructions. So like they're less likely to get upset that you gave them the consequences because they know they were clear.
Right.
So, yeah.
I agree 100%. And then I'm thinking how much that would aid with you building relationships, even strong relationships, because it's not that you don't have great relationships with all your kids, but that trust factor is the it factor. And so I'm thinking about kids like Terrell who might kind of want to pop off.
Right.
But after you're going through the process, it's like, well, Terrell.
Right.
Do.
Right. Told you this thing.
I know you can do this. Let's get back on task and going from there. So boom. So I hope that you make your appointment. Again, I went a minute and 59 seconds over. I apologize for that. And Christy, seriously, thank you for being so like flexible and meeting with me.
Thanks for coming like here and meeting me here. This was easy.
Of course. When you were like, we have parent teacher conferences, I was like, okay, all right. Well, clearly I know what I need to do